morning, good afternoon, good evening, good luck sleeping. You're watching PNT. I'm your host, naked under all these clothes. Up front this week, in a far too appropriate case of art meeting the realm of politics, a series of gold-colored toilets bearing the phrase, "Take a Trump," began appearing in cities across the U.S. on day 100 of the controversial Politico's days in office. Upon lifting the lid of one of the thrones truly fit for our king, curious passerbys are treated with a picture of a pig bearing a crown emblazoned on the inner surface. According to an article published by the Huffington Post, the installations are the result of a loose art collective known as the Art Thinksters and are intended to make people aware and let the people in charge know that what they are doing is being watched and dissected very carefully. Thus far, Trump toilets have been spotted in Texas, Oregon, Florida, Illinois, California, Nevada, and Colorado, with the promise of more to come not only in the US, but worldwide. The spokesman for the group, only known as ART, reports that the toilets are getting a warm reception, with a few even finding their way into private homes so that the new owners can express their appreciation for art and the Trump administration in a more intimate and appropriate fashion. Up next, away and across the pond, tourists in Scotland Sunday filmed what purports to be a sighting of the famed Loch Ness Monster. The footage, shot by tourist Rob Jones, was uploaded to YouTube and has already received more than 180,000 views. It appears to show the classic surgeon's photographed silhouette of the monster, with the beast apparently moving slowly away from a nearby boat and towards the shore. Dubbed the most recent sighting of Nessie after a 9-month drought, the footage has alternately been hailed as a genuine sighting or an outright hoax, perhaps perpetrated by a worried local in order to boost business.
It's moving.
It's moving?
Yeah, it turns, you know.
It's a boy.
Look. No, it's moving to the bank. Haven't been drinking yet.
No.
It's moving.
Okay, thank you.
They still made those.
I thought it was attached to that boat until the boat went past it.
There you go.
That's what everybody says. It's like, there it
It
is.
moved.
Ma l'hanno messo Children, when...
Oh,
No! Per i bambini. Yes, we saw the Loch Ness.
PNT admits that this footage does seem to be far too convenient and similar to the classic Nessie image. Also, it is easily seen that the object does not duck underwater and exhibits no movement that a monster neck glued to the back of a toy boat would not normally display. As such, PNT is extremely skeptical of the origin of this object. Last, and what can only be described as a new home buyer's nightmare, a listing from what could easily be an episode of The Twilight Zone as appeared on the real estate sites Zillow and Remax. The ad for the house in Casey, South Carolina caught the attention of Twitter user Becca Supp, who found the terms of the listing to be extremely odd, with extremely odd being something of an understatement. The description of the listing states, "Upstairs apartment cannot be shown under any circumstances. Buyer assumes responsibility for the month-to-month tenancy in the upstairs apartment. Occupant has never paid and no security deposit is being held, but there is a lease in place. Yes, it does not make sense. Please don't bother asking." Unquote. When contacted for details about the unusual property listing, local real estate agent Randall Longo stated that he doesn't know what's going on either. The owner's got some mystery tenant up there that apparently he can't answer many questions about, which is kind of strange. Interested purchasers can still find the listing on the real estate sites, however, the creepy text in the description has since been removed. At only $130,000, the house has been described as a great diamond-in-the-rough investment opportunity. Personally, I would invest in the opportunity to stay as far away from this house as humanly possible. And now, PNT is pleased to bring you our weekly report. Faithful viewers will remember our previous coverage of the recent Exmouth, Great Britain UFO sightings. On 2 separate occasions in April, a triangular-shaped craft was captured on camera and video hovering and rotating above the Devon area. We are now pleased to bring you an exclusive report and update on what we are now calling the Exmouth Incident. Before we get to the new report, let's catch you up on the details so far. In our April monthly UFO review on April the 21st, PNT brought you the details of stunning video footage of a TR-3B, or black triangle UFO, hovering and rotating over the Exmouth area. Filmed by a local transit worker who was on his break, the footage has caused a sensation online since being brought to light. 4 days later, on April the 25th, PNT brought you the exclusive sighting report and photos of a daytime sighting of what could well be the same craft as seen in the video. PNT has since followed this story vigilantly and is now pleased to bring you an exclusive update. Following our initial coverage of the Exmouth incident, PNT was contacted by a J-chartered engineer from the Devon area who provided us with a personal account of the same craft that occurred on April 12th, 1 day before the daylight sighting and but a mere 5 days before the stunning video footage of April 17th. The engineer, who was asked to remain anonymous, provided the account in the following email to PNT. Dear PNT, I see you have posted someone's video of a triangular UFO off Exmouth, Devon, UK on 17th April 2017. I can confirm that on 12th April 2017, both myself and my best friend, name redacted, us both in our 40s and his 2 children went out onto the opposite beach at Dwalish Warren, Devon, UK from Exmouth to do some cheap star spotting, as the children were on holiday and my friend is a single parent, telephoned me that evening having picked up his children to be invited to tag along. As TV was boring, I agreed. It was around 9:30 p.m., a clear sky, and we stumbled upon the same triangle-shaped UFO over the sea area between Dwalish Warren and Exmouth location. The triangle hovered, and when spotted, within around 20 seconds, it turned off its lights in sequence and then vanished. It was positioned as if to hide between a star constellation, but then moved, attracting our attention. I am a chartered engineer, and as we didn't film it, and didn't want to appear as nutcases, we did not report it formally, but came back a bit shocked to our respective homes, and apparently the children were too scared to go back out the following night with their father. The object was noiseless, attracting no attention like a regular aircraft, and no flashing aviation lights upon it observed. It's the same as this man's report in the same area later recorded on 17th April 2017. A bright triangle of lights around 1 mile height estimated above sea level. It moved in a non-conforming way and then went stealth. It possibly could be a new secret government hovering aircraft frame type structure, although possibly a little bit bigger than a Vulcan bomber that I have seen a couple of years ago in the Dwalish Air Show, or something of advanced technology, but was definitely not a conventional plane, not a helicopter, and not a flare or anything similar that we had ever seen before. We just wished that we had filmed it. However, from our position it was over the sea, and it would have been difficult to provide associated ground bearings for context, unlike the video posted around the same area a week later, which has good references. The triangular airborne shape was a perfect triangular shape, so if rotated, the angles were the same on all three sides, as witnessed by myself on 12th April 2017 at around 9:30 p.m., just off Exmouth, Dwalish Warren Beach area. I trust this report may be interesting or useful. To say that PNT found this information interesting or useful is a vast understatement. Despite having no photographic evidence, this latest report is compelling for many reasons. First, it confirms and adds an additional piece to the puzzle of the Exmouth Incident. It has become obvious that at least one unusual craft was, for more than a week's time, investigating the Devon area closely. Second, this was not an individual sighting, but rather a multiple witness sighting, which is considerably more rare. All four witnesses saw the same thing at the same time. Third, the witness himself is a chartered engineer, and as such is a trained observer, and provided a host of excellent observations of the object. Throughout our communications with the witness, PNT was struck repeatedly by the sincerity and courage of the witness in coming forward. The individuals in question are well-respected members of their professional communities and are not eager to be termed nutcases by reporting their sighting. PNT appreciates the trust that the witness has shown in us by reporting their sighting and allowing us to share it with you, our faithful viewers. In a media landscape that cares more for views and profit than the truth and protecting journalistic sources, PNT is more than ever determined to live up to the trust that you have placed in us. As such, we will continue to update our stories as events develop, and will always strive to bring you balanced coverage of paranormal news today. We would like to thank faithful viewer Jennifer Hansford for her support of the channel and in helping it grow. Thank you for taking the time to watch and comment, Jennifer. As a content creator, sometimes it can seem as though you are shouting into a vacuum, and it's good to know that there are people out there who are making PNT a part of their lives. As always, if you or someone you know has had a paranormal encounter or has information on one of our stories, we want to hear from you. Contact us and we will do our best to investigate, PNT style. We thank you for watching and ask that you click like, share, and subscribe below. I'm your host, reminding you to keep an open mind, because a closed one shuts out the truth.